In the heart of Maine's political landscape, a new name was making waves: Graham Platner. At 41, Platner was not your typical politician. He was a Marine veteran, known for his discipline and service, and an oyster farmer, deeply connected to Maine's rugged coastline and working-class roots. His story resonated with many, painting him as a rising Democratic star with a unique blend of grit and authenticity. In August 2025, Platner officially launched his campaign for the U.S. Senate, setting his sights on unseating Republican Senator Susan Collins. His campaign was built on a populist message, promising to fight for everyday Mainers and bring fresh energy to Washington. Backed by impressive grassroots fundraising and a growing base of enthusiastic volunteers, Platner quickly became a formidable challenger, drawing attention from both state and national media. But as his campaign gained momentum, a single disturbing image surfaced and changed everything. The focus abruptly shifted from his policies and background to a tattoo on his chest, one that bore a striking resemblance to the Nazi Totenkopf, the infamous SS Death's Head. The image was jarring, raising immediate concerns and casting a shadow over his candidacy. The revelation sent shockwaves through Maine and quickly reverberated across the nation. Politicians, activists, and everyday citizens demanded answers. The symbol's exposure ignited urgent questions about Platner's past, his judgment, and what the tattoo truly meant. Was it a youthful mistake, or did it hint at something more troubling? The story broke online, first as a whisper on obscure forums, then exploding into a full-blown political firestorm. Social media lit up with speculation and outrage. Old social media posts resurfaced, and the tattoo's public reveal became headline news, dominating the conversation in Maine and beyond. Platner's campaign scrambled to respond. In an attempt to get ahead of the scandal, Platner released a shirtless video statement, directly addressing the controversy and insisting the tattoo was a regrettable decision from his youth. He appeared on the popular podcast podsaveamerica, hoping to clarify his story and appeal to skeptical voters. Behind the scenes, his campaign team worked around the clock, strategizing damage control and fielding tough questions from the press. Despite these efforts, the backlash only intensified. Protests erupted outside campaign headquarters, and Platner faced angry crowds at public events. The controversy overshadowed his platform, leaving his campaign in crisis and his supporters divided. This controversy is about more than just a tattoo. It's a stark reminder of the power of symbols, the relentless scrutiny faced by candidates in the digital age, and the high standards we demand from those who seek to represent us. In a world where every detail is magnified, the line between personal history and public accountability has never been thinner. Now Maine voters are confronted with a difficult test of character and judgment. Is Platner's explanation a case of youthful ignorance and poor choices, or does it reveal something deeper and more sinister? The debate rages on in town halls, living rooms, and online forums across the state. The decision they make in the coming months could have far-reaching consequences, potentially reshaping the balance of power in the U.S. Senate and altering the course of national politics. As the nation watches, the outcome of this controversy will echo far beyond Maine, serving as a defining moment in the intersection of personal history, public trust, and the future of American democracy. The tattoo at the center of the controversy is a skull over crossed bones, an image with a long and complex history in both military and biker culture. For decades, this symbol has been associated with rebellion, danger, and a certain outlaw mystique. In some circles, it's seen as a badge of honor, a mark of brotherhood, or a tribute to fallen comrades. But the meaning of symbols can shift dramatically depending on context, and not all skull and crossbones tattoos are created equal. In this case, Platner's version closely resembles the Nazi SS Totenkopf, a chilling emblem that once adorned the uniforms of Hitler's most notorious enforcers. The Totenkopf, or Death's Head, is not just a generic skull. It's a symbol that has come to represent genocide, terror, and the machinery of the Holocaust. Its use is deeply offensive and fraught with historical trauma. Its presence on a Senate candidate is deeply alarming, especially for Holocaust survivors and their descendants, who see in it a painful reminder of unimaginable loss. For many, the sight of this symbol is not just a political misstep. It's a personal wound reopened, a stark signal that the past is never as far away as we hope. Platner's campaign, anticipating the fallout, quickly released a video of him shirtless, attempting to show transparency and control the narrative. He also appeared on a friendly podcast, where he tried to frame the tattoo as a youthful mistake, a decision made without full understanding of its implications. He claims ignorance of the symbol's meaning, insisting that he never intended to invoke hate or violence. But the resemblance is obvious to many observers, and the explanation has done little to quell the outrage. The Anti-Defamation League has weighed in, unequivocally calling the tattoo a Nazi Totenkopf and emphasizing the gravity of such symbols in public life. They stress that these images are not just relics of the past, but active reminders of hate that still resonate today. Even if obtained in ignorance, the symbol's presence demands accountability. Community leaders and activists argue that public figures must be held to a higher standard, especially when it comes to symbols with such a violent legacy. The controversy has forced a reckoning within Platner's campaign and among Maine voters, sparking heated debates about history, responsibility, and the power of symbols in shaping public trust. The question remains, can intent excuse the display of such a loaded symbol, or does the weight of history demand a different kind of reckoning? As the election approaches, voters are left to grapple with the uncomfortable legacy of the past and what it means for the future. Platner says the tattoo's story began in 2007, when he was a young Marine on leave in Croatia. He claims he picked a tough-looking skull and crossbones from a tattoo parlor's wall, unaware of its Nazi ties. Platner insists he had no idea about the symbol's history, and has apologized, promising to remove the tattoo. He points to his military and State Department service, arguing that if the tattoo were so notorious, it would have been flagged during background checks. Yet, critics question how a self-described student of military history could miss the Totenkopf's meaning. The SS death's head is hardly obscure. The real issue, is Platner's story a genuine mistake or a cover for something darker? The answer could decide his political fate. Voters must judge whether ignorance or intent defines his past. The tattoo scandal exploded when Platner's political director, Genevieve MacDonald, resigned and publicly accused him of knowing exactly what the symbol meant. Her statement, citing his military history expertise, directly contradicted Platner's defense. Another acquaintance claimed Platner once referred to the tattoo by its German name, Totenkopf, years ago. These accounts have shattered trust within his campaign and fueled doubts about his honesty. The controversy is no longer just about a tattoo, it's about integrity. Voters are left to choose between Platner's word and damning testimony from those who know him best. The campaign's internal collapse may be its most lasting damage. Platner's troubles extend beyond his tattoo to a trail of inflammatory Reddit posts from 2013 to 2021. He called himself a communist, used anti-police rhetoric, and made racially insensitive comments. He also defended another man's Nazi SS tattoo, arguing such symbols weren't always Nazi-related. These posts suggest a pattern of minimizing or excusing hate symbols and expressing extreme views. Platner has apologized, but the posts undermine his claims of ignorance about his own tattoo. The digital record complicates his plea for forgiveness. Is he truly reformed, or just scrambling to clean up his image? For many, the posts make his story harder to believe. The controversy deepened when a photo surfaced of Platner with Richard Ward, a known neo-Nazi, who wore a shirt coded with 88, neo-Nazi shorthand for Heil Hitler. Platner's campaign claims he was caught off guard and immediately rebuked Ward after realizing who he was. But critics see a pattern. Why does Platner keep ending up near white supremacist symbols and figures? In politics, perception is reality, and this photo adds to the cloud of suspicion. In the age of viral images, a single photo can be devastating. Voters now question Platner's judgment and ability to recognize and reject hate. The incident further erodes his credibility. Platner's defense is emphatic. "I am not a secret Nazi." He points to his military and State Department service, arguing that if the tattoo were so obviously hateful, it would have been flagged. The Anti-Defamation League notes that ignorance is possible, but what matters is how one responds after learning the truth. Platner has apologized, denounced Nazism, and is removing the tattoo, steps the ADL says are necessary. Yet the weight of contradictory evidence, testimony, posts, and photos makes his plea hard to accept for many. Each incident might be explainable alone, but together, they form a troubling pattern. Platner is asking voters to trust his word over mounting evidence. His credibility is now the campaign's central issue. The scandal has devastated Platner's campaign, once a top Democratic hope to unseat Senator Collins. The loss of his political director and relentless negative press have stalled his momentum. Maine's Democratic Governor Janet Mills has entered the primary, signaling party leaders' loss of faith in Platner. Bernie Sanders remains a rare high-profile supporter, but his loyalty may not be enough. The primary is now a referendum on forgiveness and accountability. Voters must choose stand by Platner or turn to a less controversial candidate. The race has become a test of the party's values and standards. The outcome will shape Maine's and the Senate's future. The Platner saga is a cautionary tale about the power of symbols and the relentless scrutiny of modern politics. In today's world, every gesture, every image, and every word is magnified under the public eye. The smallest detail can become a flashpoint, igniting debates that ripple far beyond the original moment. A tattoo or a number on a shirt can carry the weight of history, regardless of intent. Symbols, even when worn without malice, can evoke powerful emotions and memories. They can serve as reminders of past injustices or as warnings of ideologies that must never return. Candidates must understand and reject hate's iconography. Ignorance is no excuse. Leaders are expected to be vigilant, to recognize the significance of what they display or endorse, and to take a clear stand against hate in all its forms. Every aspect of a candidate's life is now open to examination. The past is never truly past. Old photos, forgotten statements, and even childhood associations can resurface, demanding explanation and accountability. Platner's story forces us to ask, how much can we forgive, and what standards must leaders meet? Should a single mistake define a person, or is there room for growth and redemption in public life? Some believe in redemption. Others see a pattern too troubling to ignore. The public is divided, with passionate arguments on both sides about what accountability truly means. Ultimately, this is about more than one man's future. It's about the values we expect from those who seek to lead us and the standards we set for our democracy. It's a case study in how history, technology, and politics collide. Social media amplifies every controversy, while the digital age ensures nothing is ever truly forgotten. Voters must sift through conflicting narratives and decide what kind of leaders they want. The challenge is to look beyond the noise and make informed choices about the future. The lessons of the past demand our attention, especially when choosing those who will shape our future. In the end, it is up to us to decide what we value and who we trust to carry those values forward.